A congresswoman and a presidential candidate. All right, Tulsi, you were in the House. You know how this deal is. The natives are restless, as they say. Is Nancy losing her grip on the House?
We'll see. We'll see about that. But what we're seeing here, Jesse, is the same thing that I saw when I was in Congress, is this blatant corruption being exposed in broad daylight. The system is rigged. We have people in positions of power to pass legislation, to enact new policies. They can see, okay, hey, here's the industries or companies that will benefit from this. I'm going to go and make these investments, buy this stock or that stock, or have my husband or wife do it, and then make money in the process. I introduced legislation to ban this, to make it so that no member of Congress or their spouse or senior staffers, for that matter, would be able to conduct what is illegal, which is insider trading. But I think it's important also to look at this, especially in the environment that we're in right now. What is even more dangerous than what we're seeing here is that we have members of Congress who are investing in companies or industries that will benefit from a new Cold War or conflict, for example. And these are the very same people who are making the policies who have a vested interest in stoking those tensions and amping up this new Cold War, directly benefiting from it, and simultaneously undermining our actual national security for our country and the interests of the American people. This is happening right before our eyes. We, the American people, need to see it, recognize it, and bring about an end to this corruption. I
couldn't agree more. You have congressmen and women making money off guns and butter. It's been happening for a long time. When you were there, were you aware of members of Congress maybe seeking office or using the office to enrich themselves on the side?
Well, as you know, Jesse, I mean, this came up in 2012 when I was running for Congress for the first time and campaigning, and Congress passed this thing called the Stock Act, supposedly to try to make it so that insider trading wouldn't be happening in Congress. However, like many of these bills that Congress passes that are supposed to police themselves, it did nothing at all. It still allowed them to continue to conduct insider trading. It just said, hey, you've got to report on what you're investing in. You've got to tell the public what you're investing in. Many members of Congress aren't even following that basic transparency requirement, but it has still allowed, again, they created a loophole for themselves.
Right.
And they're exploiting the heck out of it.
You're right. They don't have to report until like months later or weeks later.
Right.
And a lot of them don't even care to report it at all. So again.
And if they don't, what is it? It's like a couple $100 fine.
Ooh.
And yet you have certain people making millions of dollars. This is why people are just like, man, how do we take Congress seriously when they're so blatantly exploiting the system for their own personal selfish benefit?
Yeah, we got to bring back term limits. That would be a good solution. All right, Tulsi Gabbard.